Himangi and I started Jungle Bells 5 years ago with the support of our friend Sanjay Deshpande. Our vision was to increase awareness about wildlife and forests in the minds of urban women.
Hi, this is Himangi Vartak. Under Jungle Bells, we do a lot of activities related to wildlife and nature exclusively for women. We have shorter excursions to destinations in and around Pune. We also have longer trips to different kinds of forests in India. Plus, we have trips to birding destinations. Under the awareness vertical, we do a lot of awareness lecture series in colleges, institutes, and schools regarding awareness of wildlife and nature. We also do online webinars, we do in-person events, film screenings, photography workshops, and a lot more. Under conservation vertical, we do donation drives, use clothes, use shoes, or a lot of other donations in terms of backpacks and mosquito repellents and gum boots and umbrellas, sweaters to the forest department. So in this way, we help our wee bit. It's our contribution towards wildlife and nature. Going ahead, we see Jungle Bells growing as a stronger community, and we hope that we can motivate a lot of women to join us and stepping into nature and wildlife and also getting their me time. A very good evening to all of you. Welcome to yet another Zoom call organized by Jungle Bells. Jungle Bells is an exclusive women's wildlife group. We are into wildlife related activities, conservation, and tours. Before we begin, I would like to request all of you to turn your cameras off and switch off your microphones. If you have any questions for the guests today, please type them in the chat box and we will address them after their talk. Also, if you want to receive further communication about our events and other updates, please type in your email addresses and phone numbers in the chat box. Well, I would like to start with the introduction of our speakers of today. We've called now, the webinar is called Jungle Ki Baatein. We thought, why not, just since we're talking about nature, wildlife, and forest, let's not call it webinars, make it more interesting. Let's call it Jungle Ki Baatein. So we have two very esteemed women today with us. I frankly telling you, I happened to come across their profiles on Insta and the work, and I went thoroughly, into it, into what they were doing actually. And I also received a few references of them, and I was really pleasantly surprised that I was so true. That information I got from what I had researched was absolutely true about these women, and that's why I had to invite them on our platform. So the first guest of today is Shatabdi Chakrabarti. Shatabdi is a visual storyteller based in Delhi, India. With a keen interest in wildlife conservation and communities, she focuses on stories of lesser known species, habitats, and indigenous communities. An independent storyteller, she has worked with Mongape India, Round Glass Sustain, WWF India, ORF Universal, A Better World Singapore, Cartier Philanthropy, and We Animals Media, apart from conservation and community related NGOs and initiatives. As a researcher and episode writer, she has worked on projects for channels like National Geographic India and Discovery Plus. She started her journalism and producer career with NDTV 2 decades ago. Since then, she has worked on documentary films, ad films, corporate films, and short form content for TV and online platforms for both international and national audiences. Her last job profile was of an editorial producer with Barcroft Media. Her work and personal projects have taken her to remote areas of India where she has tracked wildlife and documented indigenous communities. She has gathered field knowledge about conservation issues, animal behavior, and environmental challenges. Her photographs have been awarded, published, and exhibited in India and abroad. Her writing includes articles and book content on wildlife and tribal communities. Shatabdi has recently been accepted as a member of International League of Conservation Photographers and is currently working on investigative stories on illegal wildlife trade. Whoa, that was some introduction. Let's move on to Shatakshi Singh. Shatakshi Singh is a mother of 4-year-old kid. She was born in Panna, Bundelkhand, Madhya Pradesh. She did fashion designing in Delhi. After marriage, she shifted to Udaipur, spent a few years there learning art and fabrics. She started her journey to Wildpines from Udaipur itself. On her sister's advice, she started her own wildlife brand. She experimented with the art of block printing on bandanas and stoles. She incorporated the wildlife theme, and it made all the difference. And thus, Wildpines was born. Wildpines are both environmentally and economically sustainable. The brand has cottage setup with more handmade than machine-made materials. The center is made entirely of bamboo, 80% stone, mud, and husks. The future objective is to procure eco-friendly e-rickshaws, again for transport activities. In terms of overall economics, it is an environmentally conscious organization. Their model is to economically empower forest communities, especially tribal women. The past few years have been rewarding for both artists and owners, making Wildpines a profitable organization committed to its growth and advancement for mutual benefit. Hence, the long term survival of the organization is fully assured. Being vocal for locals is the responsible attitude they're committed towards and working for its betterment. So I guess this speaks everything about the speakers of today. This we are recording it. We'll be putting it on YouTube. The regular people who are watching it on FB Live right now. So those who missed today's session, please do go and watch it, and you would be really enthralled by the kind of work these people do. Shatabdi, I think let's start with you first, and 1 minute. Let's bring you. Okay. So let's start from the basic this thing. So please let us know your background. Tell us what were your growing up years were like, and what did you do as regards to your education?
So, firstly, thank you so much for having me on this
Pleasure.
conversation. And it's so much
Yes.
fun to be here with Shatakshi. I know her personally, and I'm
Yes.
really looking forward to, hearing her story as well. So I grew up, my father had a transferable job. So we grew up in, Shillong, Dehradun, and these were my growing up years. And we came to Delhi by the time we came to Delhi, I was finishing school. So the major chunk of growing up and childhood was in these kind of places where anyway, and this I'm talking about the 90s. So, it wasn't
Right,
the situation what it is today. So access to nature was very easy. It was right there. Like we were living around, orchards and forest patches and all that. So I think
right,
I grew up with this whole thing of the natural world around me. And, our playtimes would be out in the garden, figuring out some insect or, trying to figure out what bird is making this call. So it was always a part of childhood. But that time, obviously, I mean, I never knew that it would lead to something like this. And I was studying zoology in college, but I dropped out after my second year because somewhere I didn't kind of gel with the education system.
right.
And then
Okay,
I started working. I
right,
did finish graduation later on in English literature through open learning from DU. But that I don't think that has ever been a factor in the work I do because I started
right.
working, I got through NDTV, and everything that I've learned has been on the job. And
Correct,
somewhere, because of that introduction and that whole impact of the natural world while growing up, there was already a curiosity and, and an understanding about all these things. And I mean, I did pick up like zoology as my subject, right? So even though I had dropped out of college, I was still kind of, I was reading books, I was reading research papers.
right,
So yeah, and that's how like when I started working, I slowly saved up money. I bought a camera. I figured out that okay, there is a way you can go to the forest and take pictures of
right.
wild animals. So that's how it started as a hobby. And
Okay,
when I decided to do like independent work, I just decided to do like try to do stories which are around these issues which are personal to me. Before that, while I was working all these years, I would use all my leaves, go off to the forest for 4 days, 5 days, or take
okay,
like like whatever 30 leaves we get in a year. So I would break them up
right,
and travel to some place. So that's how it was happening. But I just thought that okay, this is still half-heartedly done. So if I
right.
really have to do something in this field, then I'll have to like just jump in. So that's what I did. Yeah.
Correct, correct, correct. That's so wonderful. I mean, you getting uh it's kind of a passion, which I will call, and then you getting into it completely from your job. This thing, this is amazing. Uh, the next question is, what made you choose such an offbeat, unusual, and unconventional career? You've covered it a little bit, but still, what was that calling in you that you thought, yeah, no, I just I have to leave my mundane this thing, and this is what my calling is.
Right. So, because I was already working in the media space, I
Right,
was figuring out and understanding that how the visual medium is a strong tool that we can use for various
right,
purposes. And like I was with NDTV for about 7 years, and I was also working on documentary films alongside. So, working in the grassroots, traveling and meeting real people, telling their stories, listening to their stories, that anyway was having an impact on me because I was seeing things on ground in reality. And a
right,
lot of time what happens is that we have this disconnect with the actual things that are happening on
correct,
ground because we are seeing a version of it. So when you start traveling and when you start experiencing certain things yourself, it kind of triggered in me that it is important to tell these stories in some way or the other. So वो
correct.
मतलब visual storytelling का कीड़ा तो था ही. So
Hmm.
I just figured a way of slowly trying to hone my skills so that whatever skill sets I have with the camera, I can use it to tell stories that people are not aware of. मतलब
Absolutely,
especially like staying in the cities, I mean we are not aware of what is actually happening in the forests or within the communities who are sharing space with the natural world. We think it's all like very pretty, very nice and beautiful, but there are lots of things that a lot of us are not even aware of what those challenges are or what
right,
life actually is.
correct,
So
correct,
because
correct, correct.
like the majority of our population is still living in such conditions and they are still sharing their spaces with the natural world. So,
Correct.
whether it's a very nice bond that we have with the environment, or if it's a challenging situation because of what is happening, we need to be aware of that. So I think
Right.
that's why I kind of figured out that, okay, I mean, personally, I was getting interested in these stories because yes, we all love the tiger, and yes, like I started going to the forest because I wanted to photograph a wild
Just,
tiger.
yeah,
But then, slowly, I also realized that there's a lot more apart from the tiger.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
a lot of our wildlife today is surviving outside these reserves and protected areas. And these are completely ignored. So,
Correct.
like some of the species I work with, even scientists don't have enough data to, say whether they are threatened or not threatened, what is happening with their populations. So, it was just like a thing that I need to work on these stories, at least like maybe somewhere what I'm finding out when I'm documenting something, maybe that will be helpful somewhere, sometime. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. So you made a very correct point because at Jungle Bells, I mean, we keep telling, people here also that there is something beyond a tiger in a forest. It's a huge kind of, a completely ecosystem which is also built, and those things are also equally important than a tiger. So what happens actually surrounding the entire forest or the other things is also important to portray, and yours is a kind of awareness, I feel, a big awareness, this thing wherein you are getting those kind of stories, and people are knowing about it, so it's a huge contribution. So what is the main reason for conservation according to you? So conservation is a very big word, okay?
right.
Everyone wants to say it, talk about it. I also say that, we, as I said in that earlier our video, that we also do a wee bit of conservation. So I believe at Jungle Bells we have this thing that if you help the protectors of the forest, then you're conserving the forest, because this is what we can do sitting in urban listing. So according to you, what do you feel, what is the kind of conservation, the meaning, and how can we at in urban this thing can support in our ways?
See, I'm no subject matter expert, so I just tell stories. So,
Yes.
uh, for me, I think like what you said, that the people who protect the forest, I think,
Yeah.
uh, giving them, like our indigenous communities have always lived with, in a rhythm, in a balance with the natural world around them. Their
Correct.
knowledge
Correct.
and their wisdom about the wildlife, about the trees, about the plants, even about, the seasons. They can tell you whether it'll rain or not, whether it'll be better rain or bad rains, but just by looking at where a particular bird is making its nest, their wisdom is
Correct.
so deep rooted. So including this, traditional ancestral wisdom, I think should be a very important part of conservation. And we say that, oh, we need to do conservation activities or we need to protect something, but we also need to address the fact that we are at this stage where conservation is needed because of our own activities. So there has to be,
Right. Correct. Yeah.
some accountability somewhere. It is not about, oh, I am, using a reusable water bottle. Only that bit cannot
Perfect. Yeah.
create that
Yeah.
kind of an impact, because we are at a stage where everything is, I think, hanging on by a thread,
Absolutely.
if you see the situation just in the last 5 years. So, like, for example, this year in January, a tiger, I live in Delhi. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I work around Delhi NCR sometimes. So, in January this year, a tiger from Sariska walked all the way using the small patchy corridors that we have through
Corridors.
the
Yeah.
Alwar division and reached the
Correct.
Haryana border, like
Oh.
literally like an hour and a half away from where I stay.
Oh my
So
God. Okay.
that tiger moved out of a healthy habitat, tiger habitat. Why? Because now tigers are spilling out of protected
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
So why
Correct.
is that happening? Because around the protected area, the land is being used for agriculture, for construction,
Absolutely.
for roads.
Encroachments. Yeah.
Encroachments are happening, and
Correct.
majority of the buffer, the outside areas of forests are, they slowly peter into what we call wastelands. They are grasslands and wetlands and shrublands, but on paper they are wastelands. So,
Absolutely.
so why shouldn't we talk about conservation of these landscapes also? Because that patch is gone. That is why
Absolutely.
the tiger is moving out. And where will it go? After a point of time, it only sees, there's a sea of agricultural fields in front of it and human habitation. So,
Correct. Correct.
we can't say, oh, we need to protect the tiger and conserve the tiger. We also need to see what all we are conserving and why we need to do that.
Correct.
So,
Correct. Correct.
I think it is something where we can't, conservation is needed because we are at a stage where we can't separate one thing or the other. Ki tiger ko bacha lete hain. Nothing will happen if it's just protecting the tiger, One part of forest will be saved, one species will be saved, but there is
Right.
a lot happening in the periphery.
Carefree. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. So whenever it's a good point that you said, because this alarming thing, it also keeps happening, near Nagpur and
Yeah.
the spilling out of tigers, and it's a
Yeah.
media frankly telling you, puts it in the other way, that tigers are they're very threatening to this thing. But why is it happening? No one wants to question, because we
Right.
have kind of encroached into their territories, their place. So obviously they're going to step out. So this is also,
Right.
but that's what, again, I said, this yours is a good medium to actually reach out to people and make them understand that this is what we are doing, that's why they are doing this. So if they are at
Exactly.
a threat more than they are
Yeah.
threat to us. So
Yeah.
it's the
And it's
other
not
way
just
around.
it's not just tigers, like in NCR we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
leopards,
absolutely.
leopards
Correct.
which
Correct.
have documented rescues of leopards happening. But we have to keep asking this question: why? Why am I seeing a leopard in an urban setup?
Correct.
In Delhi
Correct. Correct.
NCR, where it is not supposed to be in the middle of the city. It has walked out of the
Absolutely.
Aravalis and come into this posh colony. Why?
Correct.
So
Correct.
these things we
Yeah.
need to.
Yes, absolutely. Bang on. So a very different question. What are the kind of, I don't want to sound it cliche for a woman, because I will just drop that word right now. So what are the challenges faced during your photo, journalist journey? So what kind of challenges you encountered? We would like to know, because there are a lot of women who will see this or who are watching this right now. So how did you achieve this, getting into a field, being constantly, so were there any kind of impediments in between?
See, I don't see them as challenges because everything has been a learning process, and I'm still learning
Right.
because
Right.
we have such a diverse country with, and the diversity is not just in people and regions and food and all that, but even in our forests and landscapes. So
Correct.
every place I go to, it is a learning process. I will
Right.
I will experience something new in the forest over there, or I will see something new or understand something new about human animal relationships when I'm in that particular landscape. So I never see them as challenges. Yes, it's a little difficult because since my interest is in lesser known species and lesser known habitats
Hmm.
or ignored landscapes, also illegal wildlife trade, there is a lack of information about these things. So
Right.
a lot of it, you reach the area or you figure out where I can work on this particular story, and then you do the groundwork to know more before you even start
Right.
thinking of a story or how to shoot it or how to tell the story. And I also do a bit of animal photojournalism, where I've been documenting our relationship with animals, domesticated or wild. So whether it's farmed
Right.
animals or animals used in, like, let's say, cockfights and ram fights and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So even in those things, it is difficult to get access because anyone, like people who are doing these things illegally, they are aware that what they're doing
Right.
is wrong.
Right. It's
So
wrong. Yeah.
getting access becomes a bit tricky, but I think that's a part of the job, and you kind of you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
yeah, I mean,
Correct.
I
Correct.
think, like, it's important to know where you're going. It's important to listen to your instinct, listen to your gut feeling when you're in a new area. I travel alone majority of the times. So it's also that I'm traveling to places where, I know there won't be any local convenience,
Hmm.
local,
Hmm.
like a
Hmm.
public transport available. So using your contacts whom you can trust to get like a good driver, a trustworthy person, doing your research online about if there are anything specific you need to keep in mind, especially if you're
Hmm.
traveling as a woman.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
those things, I think that little bit of legwork needs to be done. But I think that's there for any kind of, like, in the media space, with
Yeah.
anything you shoot, prep, you have to do your prep work. Even when you are,
Correct.
I think, when you also plan a tour, you do all of this, the prep
Yes,
work
we
goes behind
definitely.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Correct.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Are you currently working or associated with any organization, or you're completely, working on your own? Um,
I have been working independently since about 2019.
yeah.
2018, November, December, I quit my job and I've been working independently after that. But we had COVID in the middle. So I actually think that I've just started my independent journey because during like the 2020 and 2021, there was hardly any
Right.
travel, any shoot happening like that. So I've been working
Okay.
independently, trying to do work for organizations who are kind of creating awareness about these issues or about the environment. So yeah.
Okay. That's nice. So, what is kind of your, we've spoken, but if in detail you want to explain what is the entire scope of your work? I mean, if I have to say that you're now, a subject, right from, getting to think that I want to do my next documentary, or I want to bring this issue up. So, how is the entire process? If you can take us through in a bit.
So it's the thing is that I read a lot, and this is something which has been there from my childhood. Okay, so there are lots of bits and pieces of information which are already there in my head, and
Right.
something catches my eye, or I think of something, or I see I understand a different perspective which I find interesting. So then I start digging more about that particular issue or that subject or that topic, and a lot of research goes into any even before I start thinking
Right.
something, because uh, this field is not, what we do. Yes, I'm telling stories and all that, but the subject with which I'm working, it is factual. I can't make
Right.
up things, I
Right.
can't make up some behavioral fact. It is what it is. It is a scientific subject. So my understanding from all aspects, of a particular thing, whether it's a species or it's a landscape, that a lot of research and reading up and talking to scientists who are maybe working there, all of that happens. Then I start
Okay.
working on like a basic understanding of, okay, what kind of shots can I get, if there are any logistical issues, permissions wherever needed, all those things. And then, like with wildlife, it's like you go in with a checklist and a wish list, and then you come back with what nature wants
Yes.
to give you.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, and then we put it
Absolutely.
together. Yeah, yeah. So that's
Yeah,
the
it's
process.
interesting. I always feel it's a very powerful medium. Like writing is what I completely believe, but visuals is, creates more impact faster, what I can say. So,
Right.
any message that you want to put it across, if it's visually given, it is conveyed more faster. So yours is a kind of a really, a very, very, क्या बोलते हैं? Faster medium to reach people, and to connect more
Right.
than that. So
Right.
that's interesting. So if you can, so throughout your journey, what would be the most memorable experience? I mean, I'm sure there must be loads of them, but if you can pinpoint, narrate a few of them where you went to shoot, or this was something that has been etched in your memories or something like that.
There are lots. I can't say there's
Yeah,
like
I
it's
know.
there are lots, like, and for me, I get like watching a butterfly go from here to there is as fascinating as watching an
Yeah,
elephant come across.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, but yeah, but I love spending time observing elephants. I mean, the way they, not just like documenting them, but just to sit and observe how they are interacting with each other.
Correct.
They are so tactile in nature. They are so protective. If there's a calf, all the elephants, like it'll take a second for them to form like a literally like a fort around the calf. So
Correct.
and also like an elephant calf when it's really small, if you've ever noticed, I think they don't know what to do with the trunk. So they look so
Right.
silly when they're running around because the trunk is going all over the place. So these kind of moments in the wild is like I'll hardly pick up my camera. I'll just sit and watch them.
Correct.
Another very like I really like shooting with reptiles. Like I love reptiles. So some of
Okay.
my work which I've done with while shooting snakes, they have been really a lot of fun to understand that okay, there is a certain under like body language that even they will show you,
Okay. Okay.
and to just come to realization, okay, this means this is, if the snake is
Right.
behaving like this is what it means. So I think working with snakes has been really really a lot of fun. And yeah, and leopards, like because leopards documenting leopards is always so much fun because I think they can just melt into the shadows in front of your eyes.
Right.
They are
Right.
so
Right.
amazing. Uh,
Correct.
yeah, so there isn't like a particular moment or an instance like that. It just becomes like a collective, I think.
Okay. It's interesting. Wasn't the reptile thing very scary, or is it? No, not because generally it's been, perceived like
Yeah, yeah. So
majority of the
that's
time.
again no like because snakes and reptiles, we have created this aura of mystery and fear around.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
in actuality, they are fascinating animals. If you just observe or learn more about them. So I did a small film which was about this only, that we when we see a snake, our first instinct is fear and then violence.
Correct.
But if you go a little deeper, you will see they are like, if you have if you look at a shot of the close up of a snake's scale, you will see the
Hmm.
beauty in it. So
Hmm.
we worked on a film like that. Then I recently finished a project on the illegal trade of the red sand boa. So the red
Oh,
sand boa, which in popular
right.
it's domuha saap, we call it.
Correct.
It
Correct.
is a completely harmless snake, but it might be one of the most traded reptiles in India,
Oh,
because there is so much misinformation about it, so much of superstitions linked to it. So,
correct.
a poor thing, a poor snake, which doesn't even bite you, which doesn't do anything to a human being, is paying a price where it is being, picked up from the wild, because of human greed. So, if people are not aware of the fact that whatever
Absolutely.
people believe about, the superstitions and all of that around the snake, till they're not aware that this is all nonsense and there is no scientific basis to it, they will not stop doing this. So
Correct.
we worked on a film like that. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So, one question that came to my mind: you work with so many species. You work with. You said you have to. Sometimes this is like exposing. Now, illegal trade is something that a lot of people would not like. I mean, because you're. So, have you received any threats? This is a very personal question. Since you're getting into this kind of a completely, so, was there any kind of a tiff between those people, or have you received any kind of, not threats actually,
Yet,
but not,
yeah,
yeah.
not yet, because again, like before, like for the Sandbar story, we interviewed a person who kind of is from a particular community, who are kind of blamed for all of this.
Correct,
So
correct.
we spent a lot of time meeting with him, spending time with him, understanding their part of the story, and we gain that trust for him to be okay to come in front of the
Okay,
camera, you know.
okay.
And for the same story, I also spoke to a trader. Like, we spoke on the phone to with a trader who's from Maharashtra. Like, he revealed it himself while we were speaking. And like, while doing research, I found this YouTube channel where they were selling the snakes. So I found the number
Oh,
and I
okay.
called, and I had decided, okay, whenever I make the call, let's record it. Let's just shoot it and see what happens.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I wasn't expecting him to answer the call, but he did, and we spoke, and he just shared everything कि आप ऐसे आइए, आप तो ladies है, आपका तो गाड़ी कोई नहीं check करेगा, आप आराम से ले जाइए, like all,
Aram se.
yeah, these kind of
Yeah,
things
there.
he's just sharing. uh because again, like, I pretended कि मेरे को आपका number मिला, आप क्या कैसे आप करते हैं, like, I pretended to do all of that. So as such, like, the story is out, but I haven't heard back from him or anything like that. So till now, nothing
Yeah.
like that has happened. But
Okay,
yeah, you
good.
never.
Yeah. So, what is a very common question that we ask, but what's the kind of advice, or I would say, a suggestion or a career guidance to those women, or even for that men who want to come into this kind of, documentary making, or this thing making for wildlife? So, is there any particular thing? What is the kind of scope for this kind of a career if you take up, and how does it look ahead in the years to come?
So when I had started going to the forest, I mean, there were just a few people who were doing these, big budget documentary wildlife films from India. But now, especially in the last 8, 10 years, a lot of people have come into the field, and it's great in a way because now we have easier access to technology.
Right.
where you can shoot something very nice even with your phone.
Right.
So I think we have the tools right now and access, because wildlife photography and wildlife filming, and even just going to the forest for like as a hobby, all of that has picked up. Like, a lot of people are
Right.
interested in it.
Right.
A lot of them are doing it. But I think we need to be a little bit responsible now, because
Right.
there is a chance of misinformation being spread very easily because of it.
Mm.
And I've
Correct.
seen it happen. I've seen people giving so-called wildlife influencers giving random, like, facts which are completely baseless. They're
Yes. Yeah.
speaking about it in their videos and their interviews, and that's not right. Because if you are claiming to be a particular expert in a particular field, whatever it is, have the responsibility of at least sharing the correct information.
Right.
So I think that we need to keep in mind that what we are sharing, we do it a little responsibly. And if
Right.
we want to start out, if it's something that one wants to start pursuing, uh I think it's very important to understand that this is based on science. It is not, you are not writing a fiction story or documenting
Right.
fiction. You're working with real animals, real living beings, and you need to
Correct.
understand. So studying up on animal behavior, understanding the landscape, reading up on the history of a particular place, if it's and
Mm.
a lot of it is available these days on Google. Like, earlier we used to, like, I used to
Absolutely.
sit in
Yeah.
libraries and find the books and read up.
Correct.
Now it is just, it's in your phone. So read
Mm.
up, do your homework a little bit. Don't believe everything that you are hearing around you.
Right.
Your own research and find out what it actually is. And yeah, I think watch a lot of documentary films, uh, read stories which were written earlier by explorers, so that you
Mm.
understand that how it used to be 100 years before and what the situation is today.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So gather that knowledge, so that when you're experiencing something, it's a I think it's a much more richer experience if you
Right.
have a little bit of knowledge beforehand. Yeah.
That's amazing. All right. So I think we are come to the end. There are a few questions, but I will just address them at the end after
Sure.
talking to Shatakshi, so we
Yeah.
can take it up. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Thanks.
Shatakshi. Hello. She's here.
Hi, Mangi.
Hi, Shatakshi. So, yes. Okay, let's start. And I've already shared your bio earlier, so people have
Thank you.
some idea about what you're doing. Right now, where are you? We would like to know.
I'm at Bandhavgarh right now.
Amazing. Amazing. Wish I could come there. It's like,
You are most welcome.
Yes. So, then, since when have you been interested in wildlife, and how did you develop an interest in it?
So it's like me and my siblings have been born and brought up in Panna only, and Panna is known for tiger and tiger reserve. So it is like we have been going to jungle since our childhoods.
Wow.
Whenever we are getting holidays or something like that, then my father used to take us to jungles and show us around. We used to see different animals. So since childhood, it was nothing new for us. But
Wow.
जैसे जैसे हम लोग बड़े हुए, हम लोगों ने देखा कि हाँ, जंगल से connect कैसे करते हैं. Because Papa, when we used to go with our father, he used to tell us to wear such jungle colors, and
Yeah.
you should not make noise if you are watching animals. So it was there in our like blood. What would I? So it's
Correct.
nothing new for us to be connected with jungles and mother nature and environment. So it was like we have been there. We have been born and brought up there only. So it was known to us since our childhood.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's amazing. Something that, every wildlifer would wish for, that he's born in that area and he continues to stay there,
Actually.
live there. Yeah. So we'll talk about your brand. So how was it born, and how did you think of this name, Wildpines?
So actually, I have done fashion designing from Delhi, And then I always wanted to do something in designing field and craft things. But after getting married, I got exposure of this block printing in Udaipur. So I used to go and explore the city. One day my sister called me and said, why don't you start making wildlife souvenirs? Since you have done fashion designing, we can sell it through our this platform. She started working here in jungles because she worked for Taj Safaris for a decade, and then she joined here in Bandhavgarh as a manager of Jungle Lodge. So there,
Okay.
here I am right now. So
Okay.
she suggested and she promoting me through her guests and friends and family. So it's begin like this, and later I realized we can do lots more. Dheere dheere, I also contacted few people and asking for orders, and sometime it was not for wildlife also, but still I did for them because I wanted to have orders, so that I'll be like at least kuch to hota rahe. So
Right.
I wanted to keep myself busy also. So that's how I have started, and once it is started, धीरे धीरे सारी चीजें होने लग गई. So I feel like you need to start somewhere. Then
Correct. Absolutely.
अपने आप चीजें it falls like चीजें हो जाती हैं. So that's how
Correct.
I feel.
Correct. Amazing. So, आपका कुछ experience है? Do you have any first experience after launching your this wildlife brand that you can share with us? So once you launched the brand, and also how did you think of getting the tribals or the community along with you in this brand?
So what happened that there's another story. Earlier I was working from Udaipur only, so I was taking order and placing order. I was dispatching order from Udaipur only. So it was quite easy there because आप partition से काम कराते हो, then you will have to just tell them that that's how you have to make, and this block you have to put, this cloth you have
Right.
to. So it was quite easy for me to deal with them. But since when I came back to my place, then this COVID came in between.
Right.
Then I got to know that I am conceiving. So when I came back to Panna, then I never went back to Udaipur also, because my husband also switched the job to other place. So overseas actually. So we never go back there. And 2 years passed by, and then I decided I should resume my work, since like people were placing order, and I was telling them that I can't take order right now because I have this small kid and I can't manage.
Right.
At in Panna, there's nothing like that. It's a very small place, very small town. There's no artistic things happening. So then I meet Bhavna. Then I met Bhavna and Vidya. So I gifted them buff. Some few buffs I had, so I gifted them buff. Then they asked me to start working with girls, because Parthi girls can't go out because of their stigma.
Yeah. Correct.
And for boys, it is like easy, but not that easy also. So
Right.
what happened was I thought, let's do it. And then there was a lady who was working for this Last Wilderness Foundation. I met her. She took me there, and then we we kind of invited them to my home, and from there I started my training. So
Okay.
when I was sitting with them and training them, I felt like this is going to be a challenging, but I took that challenge and started teaching them how to make keychains, bag charms through fabric and all. So
Wow.
they
Okay.
were like keen to know also. And it was why I feel this is challenging, because they were new for needle and thread even, so they were not aware of holding needle and thread. So it was like sitting with them for an hours to teach them how to make things. And it goes for a whole 1 year. I was doing this only. And like, I was not thinking about the business. I was thinking, if it will work out, then this model will really helpful for them, as well as I feel worth it, because if you are doing for your people and for your nature and for your place, it's give you satisfaction. So
Satisfaction.
so I wanted to do more for my satisfaction, also for those girls also. I got connected with them quite easily, because I felt that they also come from my place, from where I've born and brought up. So that's how it started, and I proudly say now that they are like trained artists, and they can make whatever. Now I tell them that this you have to make in this design, they quickly grab, and they show me, like, now they ask also, ma'am, मैं ये कैसे बना सकती हूँ, या मैं कितना order लूँ. They fight for orders also, like, I'll make this, so it's like
Amazing. So I know the last wilderness, and I have met with her, and she's also been doing a great job. I personally feel wherever, last time also I met up with someone, but people like you who want to see, if you're going to make it's a sustainable this thing. So if you're going to create a livelihood for the people who are staying in and around the forest, they will themselves, it will help them to protect the forest. They will also understand that how tourism is, or how it is important. And for us also, because they are the keepers, someone from the family is working for the forest or something like that. So that ownership also comes out of that, if they they are made a part of the entire thing. So I believe you are an amazing job. I mean, in the sense, you taught them, and they've come this far, and they themselves have started earning. So it's a big thing, making someone stand up on their own feet and get out.
I see the confidence in the girls, the way they talk now to get, and they stand for themselves. So it feels really great that I'm not thinking that I'll be change maker for 1,000 women, but if I am like a change maker for at least one woman, I feel like what I am doing is I'm giving my 100%, and I'm doing
Absolutely. So if you can share a few of your products, which are if you can just verbally also say what all do you make under that brand.
So initially we had started with bag charm and few keychains, which we have used this party clothes, because now gradually, slowly, they are like the modern change is coming to our society, and girls don't want to wear that clothes. They feel this is quite old fashioned. I said it is quite old fashioned, but it's your roots. So we should create something which people know more about you, and like, I feel that those clothes are very, very colorful, very vibrant. Why don't we can provide something unique with this clothes? And that's how we started making few keychains, bag charms initially. And then this idea came in my mind that because I had earlier exposure of this block printing, so I thought I should start this thing here in Panna only, because for Panna it's very much new for people, because in Jaipur, in Rajasthan, it's quite popular. Everybody knows about block printing and everything, but for Panna it was new.
Correct. It's a new thing. Correct.
It was new thing. So I thought if they can do it here only, because earlier I was doing with the artisans. So if they can learn this art also, then it will be a great success. We can make bandanas and stoles from here only. So that's how
Correct.
I thought of this idea and discussed with Vidya and Bhavna. And then they have initially helped me for this initiative. And that's how I have started. And now, since that, where I have started at my place only in my storeroom. Mama, Papa has given me that storeroom for my workshop. So I started doing from there, and guests also started coming there to see our work and everything.
Wow.
So, like, I thought one day there was like 25 people group. They came to our place, and room was full of people, and we were not able to show like things how we are doing. And that time I realized I should expand this thing, because we are really getting a good response. So I thought to move Manor, which is near to Hinota Gates.
Hinota, yeah.
So it is near to Hinota Gate. It's like 2 kilometers away from the ticket counter. So I thought I should build some eco-friendly structure there, and we should start. So we did that like idea was mine and my brother's also. He always helps me. He also runs a page of this Panna Heritage Society. If you want to know more about Panna, you can check on that page.
Sure. All right.
Into history, culture, and art. So he suggested me you should do there, and we can do there a lots more things and this. So I thought, yeah, why not? We can. So in February we started this year, and we got a really good response in just 2 months, because in May and June it's
peak season.
Yeah. So वो वहां से लगा कि हाँ ये अच्छा हो सकता है. Then this off season also came. Then we shut it down for 3 months. Now again, when I came back, it took like 1 week to restart. But once I have started, people started coming again. I have came here also for a work as well. Like all Bandhavgarh was the place from first place from where I have started keeping my stuff. So I thought I should go this time personally, because my sister like enhanced the shop. She wanted to keep more stuff. So I came personally to give my personal touch here.
Oh, lovely. So you had shared with me a few images. So let me just see, because you know, kind of 1 minute. I will. The shine. So we'll have an idea about, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's see if I can see. One of this was this. So this is your recent one, or?
Yes, the recent one. Okay, and this was the talk of the town when this came.
Correct.
So he also appreciated our initiative and like motivated us to keep doing it.
So this is your setup there? Is this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We have a couple of more photos. Beautiful. It's nice. Yeah, so this gives an amazing idea. So how far is it, you said, from the Hinota Gate?
It's only 2 kilometers away from Hinota Gate.
Okay.
Where's the ticket counter is there. From there, this Manor Center is just 2 kilometers away.
2 kilometers. Okay. So are you self-taught merchandise designer, or do you have any mentor in this field? So are your designs and all of your own, is what I mean, or are you
actually I did fashion designing. So under fashion designing, I have learned variety of designings and merchandising also. But yes, since I have started this Wildpines, there's a lady who also runs the same block printing setup in Bhopal. Her studio name is Gora Studio, and she is like helping us जितना best वो कर सकती है. I feel because if you are in the same business and if you are doing the same thing, people don't often like support each other.
Yes. They don't. Yeah. Correct.
But this girl, I would say, like, help me thoroughly. जो भी चाहिए, whatever I am confused in anything, I just have to ask her. She is there to help me. So I would say that she is doing a great help to us and supporting community also. She is more into safaris. She love going jungles and all. So I have a mentor, like I told you that I consider her now as a mentor for my
Amazing, yeah.
this field.
On that note, do you also visit all types of jungles right now? Do you go on safaris?
Yes,
also?
Yes.
Okay.
Since childhood, I'm going like in Panna. There was a time जब हम लोगों को ticket भी नहीं लेना पड़ता था because there was no proper park gates and all. Papa के साथ जाना,
Yeah.
it was quite easy for us. I have seen tigers on elephant also. तब जब वो concept होता था.
Yeah.
So I have seen that way also. And since like my husband started working in Africa, Zanzibar, so the last year I went for this African safari also, Gorongoro crater I did. So I have got exposure of African safari also. I did Bandhavgarh, Kanha, Page, Panna. So like Indian jungles, yeah, I know quite well. This year I have not gone, like from this October I'm like 20 days I have not been any jungle. Like I'm planning to go. I was asking Sadhvi if I can go Bandhavgarh. I like Tala zone a lot here.
Tala, yeah. Correct. That's nice. So what like I have asked Shatabdi that what kind of message do you want to give those women who want to come into this kind of a career, working with the tribals and also supporting them in their livelihood, plus making it a profitable venture, because you just don't want to, work for the sake of working. You have to make also money out of it. So that is also there. So what is the kind of, advice you would give?
I feel like people think that they can do something big in bigger cities and urban cities. I feel if you are connected to your roots and if you are of that mindset that you can bring a change of doing a small start, like the way I'm doing. I feel like you don't need to make a big difference. It just you have to be committed to your thing what you are doing, and it should be in your mind that you are doing for your people and for your nature and for your
correct
for yourself also. But I feel like if you are ready to take challenges and if you really want to make a change, then definitely I feel sky is the limit. You don't have to feel that you have, like I have done fashion designing. Earlier I used to think that I'll be getting jobs in big cities only. I'll have to work with big designers under big designers and all, but I never got a chance. And I feel blessed now that I have never got a chance and I'm doing my own thing. And whatever I am doing, I feel like I feel proud for my team also, because of that, because of them, like this story becomes success. Otherwise it would have not been. Like they were keen, they wanted to learn, because I tried my best and they also tried their best. So that's what I'll say, that if you think that you can come out with your comfort zone and you want to do for your place and for your people, then sky's the limit.
Yeah. So lastly, I want to ask you, how do you see your brand evolving in the next couple of years? Are you planning on expansions? Do you want to send your
Yes.
products,
Yes.
overall to other forests? So how do you see your brand?
I sometimes I feel, because I like this thing, even though I am handling everything, but I feel like I feel great when I'm teaching girls. And so I want to do, I want to work with other NGO also, uh, those who are working for conservation, and I want to work with other NGOs so that I can teach other tribes also, other women also, and also as many ways as I can expand my this initiative. I want to try everything, because I feel we have got one life, and we should do whatever you feel you can do best.
Best, yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
very true.
Because since childhood, my mother always told us, we are three sister and one brother. So she was always like, you can do household chores whenever it will come in front of you, but you should focus whatever you like to do in your career. Because आप अगर independent होगे, आप अपने लिए help ले सकते हो, आप उसको afford कर सकते हो. But अगर आपने अपने आप को ही independent नहीं किया, then you can't do anything in your life. So she was a great support for all of us, and my brother is there for all of us. But I feel like for my brand, he is always there and always supportive. Father also, all of them, like father, mother, and my husband also. Initially, my husband supported me for financial things, and now he's also very proud of whatever I'm doing. So I feel like because of all of them, I am here, whatever I'm able to do. So this is my whole journey.
Yes, yeah. Amazing, Sakshi, because I people don't know, there are a lot of women, or maybe, people who work with the tribals, who want to bring them up, who, put their efforts into this, at that root level to get them on. This is amazing work you're doing. So I think there were a couple of questions. One was for Shatabdi. What steps you think are needed to increase space for tigers and wildlife at large?
Oh, space है कहाँ to increase?
Space ही नहीं है actually. अभी
हमारे
कहीं
लिए
नहीं है.
space नहीं है अब. I think more there. I don't think it's practical to think that we can increase space given the situation. But I think we need to find ways to keep protecting what we already have. To keep questioning certain decisions and policies, and all of that which we know are threatening to the existing and remaining wild spaces. So what we have, if we can manage to protect those areas and those habitats, I think still there is hope for that. But I don't see any, I mean, again, I'm no subject matter expert, but I don't think it will be possible given India's situation. We are the largest population. We also have the largest numbers of tigers. So now it's about finding a balance between development and accessibility and all of that, along with protecting nature.
Correct. So one question is for Shatakshi: how you get connected with these tribal girls? Does Forest Department help in it in any way?
Oh, initially, I got connected through Last Wilderness Foundation, and from that time, they started coming to my home, and फिर वो journey start हो गई. Then they keep coming to my place, It
Okay.
was challenging. People around my house, they were like, why they are coming, and why only this tribe and this. I never listened to anybody. I said, this is my house and my parents don't have any problem. Who are the others who can say something about them? So I never listened them, and I keep calling them and I keep teaching them.
Amazing. Mr. Surkrat says, Shatabdi, that Sandboa documentary was extremely well researched and documented. Had an opportunity to watch it. So I think I would like to, on this platform, tell both of you are on the social media. Your work is there. So I think people should, just go and visit more. So once they come to know, they can be able to, it's miss. Okay. And I'm really sorry. Someone is asking, is it mandul? Red sand boa. Is it called mandul?
I'm not sure. I mean, because in different areas it's called in
Called
there are
differently.
different
Okay,
names
okay.
locally. Yeah, so maybe.
Okay.
I just want to
Okay.
say something about Satakshi's work. I've
Yeah.
met her, I have seen her work, and I think what she's doing is incredible because there are like working with a particular community in Panna who have been trying, that we have all these ideas about uplifting our communities and giving
Correct.
them options and making them a part of the mainstream. But the way Satakshi has been working with these women and with these girls, it is incredible because I've seen how proud these girls are about the work they are doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
They
can
have
imagine.
imbibed this sense of pride about the fact that they are now earning members. They are creating things with their hands which are going to these global people. So this thing that she's doing, it's incredible. Like, I'm really
Correct.
amazed.
Correct.
Thank you,
Correct.
Sakshi.
Correct.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. And whatever you are also doing for the forest and for the in other animals which are like lesser known to people, that is also incredible. I have
Thank you.
heard your story in person, but on listening this platform, it was a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you both of you. As I've said, this is a good documentation because we're going to put it up on YouTube and circulate, as well as we'll be sharing the link with you both. And let us hope that we get a lot of people to listen to it after this also. Uh, Amazing. Thank you. Hats off to both of you. Keep doing the good work. I hope to meet up with you sometime. If I
Yes.
come that side of the town, I would love to meet in person.
I have seen your post that you have came to Panna Tiger Reserve. So
Yes,
you have to
I
come
was there.
again now. You
I
have
will
to come to
definitely
our
visit.
doors.
Absolutely, yes.
Satabdi already came to our center.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
now is your turn.
Yeah. So let's stay connected and let's keep doing the good
Sure.
work. Amazing work. Thank you, both of you, for
Thank
coming on
you.
the Jungle Bed.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.